Well, good morning again. After my walk, I decided this would be a great time to actually walk you around the house and the beds around the house before everything becomes full bloom, to kind of see the pre-bloom stage. It's the perfect day. Overcast days are so much better to get pictures and to do stuff like this, as you can see the true colors. Now, as I said, pre-bloom, with the exception of this bed. So this bed actually runs along the whole length of our garage, and it is 100% shade. So the plan when we built it last year was to just pick at it and add things from the other spaces in our garden as they became available to fill it in, because we do have some areas of shade. But I got a little impatient this year and really got into the gardening spirit, so we decided to fill it with color and some perennials. So we do have some transplants, we have some hostas, but all these chartreuse green plants that you see, these are heucheras, or I think the other name is coral bells, and they do give off shoots of blooms, but you mostly put them in your garden for the color of their leaf structure, and they are perennial. So I'm hoping they'll do really well here and come back every year. And then the day that we had the huge planting extravaganza, a lot of those little plants went in here. So we actually put in annuals to kind of fill it in, and I think we put in 4 flats of these little impatiens of bright pink, it's called lipstick pink, rose color, and then a violet color. And we had 4 flats, and each flat had 48. So that was a lot of little holes for those, but really enjoyed it. We have a zespil, and I'm sorry if I don't pronounce these right. I see them in my head, but sometimes I cannot spit out the name correctly. It has not bloomed yet this year. It was a transplant from another spot in our garden. And this bleeding heart we moved last year because it was massive in front of our house, and we had a couple of bleeding hearts there, and it is doing terrific. It's really loving its life here. Perfect little blooms. And then it just continues on with the heuchera and the impatiens. So this bed here is probably about 36 feet long and about 2.5 feet wide. So it's a large bed, and I wanted to put lots of pops of bright color because we are a distance from the road. We have quite a long driveway. So hopefully, as it fills in, we'll be able to see that color from the road. So now we'll walk over to the house, and we'll kind of walk around the perimeter of the house. Lily loves to walk with me in the mornings. So this is, I would have to say, the west side of the house, and it does not get sun until late afternoon, but my God, when the sun hits over here, it is blazing hot. So it's been really an experiment to see what is going to thrive here. Hostas didn't like it. It was too hot in the afternoon. There was a few other things like perennials that we ended up taking out because they just did not like it. The long sticky things you see is actually the leftovers from spring blooms bulbs that I'm just waiting to die back a little more before we snip them off. But we do have some good things, and for the life of me I cannot remember what these yellow flowers are. It is a perennial. So we did fill it in with some annuals. Nothing has been mulched yet, as we always wait until we're done with our annual planting before we mulch. So that will be coming up. And all these little violas that you see, there's clumps everywhere. So one year I planted a bunch of violas in this bed, and now every summer we get volunteers, and I just let them do their thing. They're nice and colorful, and they seem to like it here, so why not? Along our windows, you'll see these window boxes, which I truly love. I got them from Home Depot. They're the Yorkshire collection. They are 12 inches deep and they do have a bit of a water reservoir in the bottom so that you don't have to water them every day. And the rain that we've been getting, I haven't watered them since we put them up, but they are just so pretty. And they have a big lip on the top, so as things trail down, it looks really nice. So then this is our main entranceway. I just do some pots here, and this is again 100% shade. Another little window box. And then when we come around to the front, this is kind of the side view of the front of the house. So we do have like a cedar here. The idea is to let it grow so that it will hide our power box there. 2 more of those window boxes on this side. And this side of the house is east facing, but it only gets about 4 hours to 5 hours of sun in the morning, and it's not intense sun. So again, we have to choose wisely. Lots of lilies in here and things that are sun to part shade. And everything is just lush and beautiful after our fresh rain. There's another bleeding heart. This bleeding heart's a little bit different. It's not as sophisticated in its blooms as the other one, but it's still very pretty. This little fern's new. It's a new addition this year, so we'll see what it does. A heuchera, some perennial shrubs, and I said lots of lilies. So there's the window box. And this is some form of weigela, I believe. And it will get bright pink blooms. And then in here is just packed. So we have a very large, that's the largest of our window boxes that we have over there. But behind we have azestibles. I planted, there's some really funky hostas back there. They're like almost white. Picked those up last year. I can't remember from where, but we have 2 of them. Darren doesn't like them, but I think they're kind of cool. They're almost albino in color, so anxious to see how big they do and what they grow like. There are some coleus back there. They look tiny right now, but coleus does very well in this area as it's so well shaded, and they will get massive. We have some sedum. Again, lots of lilies, heather. We have some nepeta. The azalea is getting ready to do its thing, and some flowers have opened. It's kind of an orangey one, so there's 2 back here. So that will be very pretty. Again, we need to mulch, so that will be coming up shortly because I do believe I've planted everything I want to plant in this area. The pops of color are some annuals. These little things, they look terrible this morning because they're so wet from the rain, but they're primrose and highly recommended. These little flowers, I have them all over here, and normally, I think I posted some pictures way early in the spring, like even late winter, and they just pop up like daisies through the snow, and vibrant yellow. They don't like a lot of heat, so they kind of lose their blooms, and also when they get wet on top, they'll kind of dry up, but they'll bounce right back and produce lots more blooms. So they've been lovely. And then when you go down this way, yes, it continues on. So this is kind of like the side of the house, mostly shade, but late afternoon sun. Here's another weigela, and the blooms, the buds are massive. So they're just going to explode here any day. And they are, well, there's a few down at the bottom. They're more of a dark ruby color. So we have some nice hostas, more lilies. There's foxglove in here as well. Large hostas. Some more heuchera. Yep, so there's a foxglove, and I believe there's another one at the other end that will be blooming. So again, this is like pre-bloom. These lilies are tall, like they're as tall as me. Well, so 5 feet. And there's another Wegelia. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Winnie. Lots and lots of blooms, or buds, I should say. Blooms are coming. That's kind of a sneak peek at the deck. And I tell you, the annuals, they really don't know what to do right now. They're trying so hard. The few days of sun we had, they were glorious. They love it. And then we get more rain and they're like, what the heck? So, but they will come. I know that. Here in this corner, and this continues. This gets quite a bit of afternoon sun as we lead up to the south side. We have here, I believe, these are hollyhocks. They did nothing last year, but they are biannual, so I just ignored the spot. But they came back this year, so interested to see what they're going to do. We have some yarrow, and these little clumps. One there, one there, one there, one. There's 5 of them. There's a spread of 5. They are actually echinacea, and I tell you, by August, the large coneflower purples and oranges and pinks that we're going to have here will be glorious. We have some, I think it's called wild geranium. It's kind of a perennial geranium. Grows very low with tiny blooms that are pink. Some more lilies. These are new for me this year, and you know what? The name of them just totally escaped me, but they're kind of like a light purple bluish bloom. And then the peonies. They are just getting ready to open up, and I cannot wait. This is the 3rd year. Speaking of 3 years, can you believe everything I'm showing you? This is 3 years old. So we built this house in 2019, moved in September of that year. So we didn't do much until the following year. So it's really amazing what you can do in a short period of time. And we're fortunate to have some very wonderful local nurseries. Southside Harbor, Viola Baker, she owns that one down in Southside. And then we have Gray's Nursery, which has actually grown like 3-folds in the last couple of years. And a lot of what we have in our garden came from there. And we have more coming. So that's always fun. So yep, peonies, they're getting ready to open. More lilies. There's lots of phlox in here. Hosta. And then this is actually a hydrangea tree. So it's tree formed, and it will send off some panicle blooms. Now, if we come around this area, this is our backyard, just for interest's sake. Again, when we moved in here, this whole lot was just woods. So Darren worked extremely hard for several months clearing it. And then he did some clearing even above where we built our house, and he limbed all the nice big trees. So we can really see way up in the woods, and we've seen bear, raccoons, rabbits, deer. So it's very active wildlife back there, which is fun. And then over here is the side of our shed. So this takes us back to the start, and this spot here gets lots of sun, and lots of things will be coming up. So this woody knob that looks like dead will be blooming into hibiscus. So hibiscus are funny, and I'm hoping it will come back again this year. This year will mark its 3rd year, where they'll start up right from the roots. Their blooms are dinner plate size. They only last a day though, so you have to grab a picture and see their blooms, but then new blooms come, and they bloom quite consistently over the hot summer. And then we have some little shrubs, more hostas. We have foxglove back here as well, I do believe. And all this reseeded stuff, I have no idea what it is. I don't think it's weeds because it's too specific and it looks not like weeds. So I'm just going to let it go and see what happens. We have some hens and chickens, or chickens and hens. These are some of my favorite lilies. Another bright hosta, more hostas. And then that takes us kind of to our deck. The deck tour will be another day because I got to go get ready for work. Well, I hope you enjoyed this around the house tour of pre-bloom, and we'll be sure to come back when things are in bloom. Thanks for joining.